They're
They're
here.
here. Poltergeist style.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We are back for season 3. We do apologize. We've been gone for so long. Life has been crazy. Some good, some bad, but it's been pretty insane for both of us. A lot of changes this year right off the bat. It was supposed to be a bit of a short holiday type break, and then it transcended to, have you guys been following the podcast, the channel, you've seen that I was in the process of moving out of state, blah 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 blah. Then work and this and that. So it took a little bit longer than expected. But if you're new here, I am the host of Face the Movies and co-host of this awesome Friday Night Fright Night podcast, GC. And alongside of me, I've got my lovely co-host, my friend, my confidant.
Hey guys, Lee. It's good to be back from Cinema Whiplash. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally back, and we're excited to be back in your eardrums.
That's right. We're back on the saddle, guys. For this episode, right? For this intro for season 3, this is kind of a shoot the shit type episode. It's mostly catching you guys up on what we've been up to, what we've been watching, what we're excited about, and the future for the podcast, right? Because we're not going anywhere. But there are some minor changes here and there, especially like as far as for episode scheduling. And maybe we could just jump into that right off the bat. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So, guys, as you guys gotten grown custom to having an episode each week, obviously with life, with work, personal stuff, it's been a little bit hard to keep up with it, especially with the recent changes this year. So we've kind of talked about it, and we decided instead of the 4 episodes a month, which is once a week every Friday, we're going to be doing every other Friday. It doesn't mean it's a permanent thing. It could change, and then our schedules kind of free up a little bit more, and we go back to the weekly episodes because we love doing it. I mean, the whole point of this is us just hanging out, talking about movies, hanging out with you guys, hearing some awesome feedback. So we're gonna be doing that going forward. We're gonna be doing once every other Friday, 2 episodes a month, and then go from there. And maybe if we have the time, we could throw in a bonus episode. We're talking about doing every so often a live stream episode of Friday Night Fright Night. So I think that'd be kind of cool to have that on there. But yeah, that's besides that, that's really I think the big update as far as for the channel itself. But Lee, could you think of anything else to add?
Yeah, we're gonna do two a month, but we're gonna keep bringing a mixture of all different types of horror movies, cult
Yeah.
horror movies, mainstream horror movies, nostalgic horror movies. We've done a lot of fun, great fun movies that we've done in the past seasons, and we're gonna keep that going for sure. And we're definitely gonna try a few new things to spice things up a little bit. Things that we've discussed that we'll probably get into in a bit, but yeah, other than that, I think it's gonna be fun. We'll enjoy 2 episodes a month, and like GC said, if things change, the schedules changes, maybe we could go back to 4 or maybe 3, or if we're doing well and we're flowing well with 2, that might stay that way for a little bit. But yeah, it's up in the air, but that's what's gonna happen for now.
Yeah, so you hang tight, guys. I mean, we've got a lot of ideas brewing. I mean, this has been months in the making to get back to it. Thinking about what episodes, what movies to do, what type of style should we change the style. So as always, make sure to let us know, guys. Make sure to reach out in our DMs, comment, all that good stuff. Let us know if you've enjoyed the previous format, if there's anything you'd love for us to kind of change, if certain sections are dragging a little bit or not, or if you want more in certain sections that would be happy to kind of change it up. Because I mean, in the end of the day, we started this not only for just to us to hang out, but kind of be a part of the community, hang out with you guys. And if you're giving us the time to kind of just sit there and listen to us ramble for about an hour and a half, we want to do it justice and do it right. And as always, we love you guys, so we always appreciate the support.
Yeah, we love talking about movies, and we love obviously talking about horror. And any feedback that we can make some minor changes would be awesome. So we were always glad to hear that. Suggestions of movies you might want us to do. Maybe in the future when we're having trouble like trying to figure out what movie to do, we might pick 2 or 3 and put them up there. Have you guys vote on Instagram which one you want us to do, and we'll do that like a fan pick. Maybe we could start doing stuff like that too. So yeah, just to kind of be more interactive with it with everybody that's listening.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, you know, speaking of like support and appreciation, can we give a hand of applause to Lee and his sick Ozzy Osbourne shirt? If you guys are watching this on YouTube, he's repping
Yes.
old Ozzy Osbourne on here on this episode. Love it.
Rest in peace, Ozzy. Big fans for a long time of Black Sabbath and Ozzy. So yeah, a little tribute to him
Hell yeah,
today.
dude. Hell yeah, dude. Well, dude, so obviously we're friends, so people, we talk behind the scenes, so it's not like we're catching up for the first time here or anything. But dude, let's talk about this year, right? 2026 from
Mm.
the beginning of the year. What are some of the horror movies that have been standing out that you've been either catching up on or have just been wanting to watch?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of movies from all genres, but horror, of course. I'm always keeping up with what comes out new. This year alone, we're now that we're in the late March, finishing up March here. I've seen a few new horror movies in theaters. I've saw and then a few of that I've seen from at home already, but that they're still new from 2026. That being 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which I was surprised that I liked even more than 28 years later. I really recommend it to everyone. I think Ralph Fiennes is awesome in the movie. So if you guys haven't checked out those two new 28 years later movies, I recommend them. Bone Temple was a surprise. Um, Another one that I'll mention, but I actually didn't like because you can't like everything, was disappointing because I was excited that the writer of Seven wrote a new movie, and it's called Psycho Killer. I went to see that in theaters, and man, it was not great. I was not a big fan of that one, but but the one that I was a fan of, that was really a lot of fun. If you're a Sam Raimi fan, Send Help. Uh,
Oh,
Recommend that one. I went to see that, and Rachel McAdams is great in it. I forget the lead's name. The male is
Dylan?
Dylan something. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a good actor. He's been in a lot of fun movies, and they're both really great in it. It was a blast watching it in the theaters with the audience because Sam Raimi does those like takes that are a little bit nasty. He likes to do things with food and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it was a lot of fun. So I recommend those. I have a few more, but before I get to them, what are some standout ones that you've watched so far this year?
Man, I want to say the Bone Temple really stood out to me. That's a good call out. I wasn't expecting much from it. I was like, man, it's been a long time. Once again, they're shooting it with the phone. I mean, obviously, with the phones we have now compared to what we had before, it's totally different. But
Oh, that
I
was the
just
first one.
they didn't do it with the sec. I could have swore it's
No,
been
the
like a
Bone
whole thing.
Temple. No, the so Danny Boyle directed 28 years later with the iPhones and all that. But the director of Bone Temple is and you can see it in
Dude,
the movie. Like in my opinion, Bone Temple to me looks way more cinematic and much more beautifully shot movie than 28 years later has that look like it's being filmed by people, and I think that's the look
yeah.
he wanted, but I think it transfers a lot better in that cinematic way in Bone Temple with the director of the new Candyman. Sorry, I forget her name. I think it's Nia something. She's really good. She did a
Dude,
great job.
it's funny that I messed up completely. I
No.
confused 28 years later with Bone Temple, so I haven't seen Bone Temple.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I was
Okay.
talking, so in my mind I was thinking of 28 years later, and
Gotcha.
so that's the one that to me I was surprised that I enjoyed, and I was like, holy shit, like this was good,
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
and Bone Temple's been one that after the ending of 28 years later, that funky little ending, I was like, what kind of Kill Bill shit is this?
Yeah.
But
I
I'm hearing good things like you said about Bone Temple, so
No, I
definitely excited.
understand the concern. I had that too. That little ending was a little weird. It almost
Yeah,
felt like it didn't fit with the rest of the movie. But the good news is that it doesn't have that weird tacky music, and those characters are there and they are weird. But man, Ralph Fiennes, they develop his character even more in Bone Temple, and I was surprised because I didn't think, but I actually liked Bone Temple better overall. They're both good though. I enjoyed them both, but I actually give Bone Temple a little bit, like at least a half a star more. So yeah, if you have a chance, check that one out. But yeah, go on with
no, yeah, I mean, dude, that's one I want to watch. Send Help, I've heard Fantastic Things. I remember watching the trailer and thinking, "It's like, yes, dude." Always been a fan of Dylan. Obviously we know him from like Hunger Games and stuff. I mean, not Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, sort of
Yeah.
similar franchise, but know him from there and a bunch of other stuff. And to see him in like a role like this, it's very exciting. Rachel McAdams, she's always been pretty great. Like she's been pretty consistent across her career, and to see her in a role like this, I mean, we've seen her in Red Eye, which
Hmm.
is a good
Yeah.
one, and in this one, it's kind of more of her snapping, and I mean, from what I've seen in the trailer, and it looks like fun. One that I just recently saw was They're Going to Kill You, which I think I'm saying it. I hope I'm saying it right. And I just saw this. They just put it in theaters, but I saw it. I think it was like a few days before with one of those $5 Monday ticket type situations, and I think I was talking to you about it. I'm not going to spoil this one because it just came out, but I will say, I hadn't seen the trailer. I didn't know what I was watching until it started playing in the theater, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Hmm.
It's interesting. It's an interesting film because you're kind of thinking. It felt kind of like a Kill Bill slash. Um, damn it, what is that movie? I'm trying to think of with all the super ex boyfriends. Scott Pilgrim.
No.
It felt like a Scott Pilgrim meets Kill Bill meets um Ready or Not type film. Like that's what it felt like. All three of those movies in one. I couldn't figure out if it was actually supposed to be an actual horror movie or if an action movie or any of that stuff. But it was interesting. It was definitely a popcorn flick. It was fun. It wasn't one that I'm like, man, I want to go and run and buy on 4K and own it or anything like that. But it's definitely maybe in the future if it was on sale for like less than $10 or $10 or something, I'd pick it up type situation. The actress, the lead actress's name, her name always escapes me. I'm horrible with names, by the way, guys. If you haven't figured that out after going on season three, but dude, she's freaking gorgeous, and her acting, like her physical acting, all the stunts and everything was so damn cool. Like I got to give her props, man. Like she really stepped it up for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been a good actress. She's been I remember her from the Joker movie. And I want to see that movie. I haven't had a chance to go see it yet. It just came out this weekend. Um, but uh, but yeah, I want to check it out for myself and see what that's about. At least it's I've heard similar things, mixed reviews, just
Yeah,
like kind of what you gave. And to mention another new one for myself, this past February I did go see, of course, Scream 7. I had to keep the tradition going. I've seen every single Scream movie in theaters from part 1 all the way to 7 now, and yeah, I would say let down for sure. Disappointed more than anything because Kevin Williamson came back. He actually didn't write it, but he did direct it. It was his first Scream
hmm,
movie he directed after having written part 1 and 2, and I think he did a lot of the writing of part 4, which his track record's been great for me. I those are some of my favorite Scream movies is 1, 2, and 4. So this one, yeah, it was a little disappointing. Paint by numbers, I guess you could say. I don't like to spoil the movies, especially new releases for people. I will say that, just because we are in the AI age, there is an AI element to it plot wise that I wasn't that big on, but I kind of understood that part of it. But yeah, it felt a little hollow. I personally liked 5 and 6, so this one was a little bit of a letdown, but it was a huge hit, so we're definitely getting Scream 8. And let me just be the first to say it. I think it's as great as Neff Campbell had been. She's been a great final girl. I think what the series really needs is to let her go, because
yeah,
if you think about all the final girls outside of Jamie Lee Curtis coming back once in a while for Halloween, usually move on with these final girls. Scream is the only franchise outside of Part 6 where it's always Sydney, and I think it's time to move away from her. I think 6 was a good idea to finally move away from her, and I don't think we needed to bring her back. But either way, we'll see what happens with the franchise, and I'll still buy it to complete my collection. And I'm excited that Scream 4 is finally getting in June, the 4K release we were all waiting for, because all of them have come out in 4K except for Part 4, and now we'll get 4 and 7 this year. And for all you collectors or movie lovers out there, can finally finish having all the Screams, whether you like the steelbooks or I personally prefer the slip covers of them. So that's good news for horror fans this year.
Dude, I'm holding out, man. I don't have any of them yet because I remember when we talked last year and you were saying like you were telling me about the Blu-rays. I think it was either DVDs or Blu-rays. You were telling me that looked not great. So then I've just been holding out and I think I want to wait until there's like this big Scream type box set, kind of like Friday 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Chucky, like that type of box set because I feel like that would look so sick. But I'm also holding off because I don't want any steel books. Like as you see here, right here, I have some steel books here, and right behind me, some here. But those I've gotten either on sale or for like literally like $2-3 type situation. The only one that I think I've paid full price was the Hackers one, and it's obviously one of my favorite films of all time, so that's probably why. But I'm just same thing, man. Like I don't know. Like I like steelbooks, but it's to me it's just takes up a little bit more space and I
Yeah.
just the slip to me is just the traditional. Like I love
Mhm.
the slip. It's video store style and
Yeah. Well, I mean, my I like steelbooks. I also own, over 50 of them probably. But same thing, like I'm very selective with steelbooks for some reason. Sometimes I'll pick one up or there's just like one that looks really awesome and I gotta have it type of thing. But for the most part, I prefer slip. And I think with Scream
yeah,
especially, I preferred them. I thought that the steelbooks were a little bit plain in the covers a lot of time. Like it was just like a knife or a little bit of Ghostface face. And I preferred the slips. Now, I will say about holding off on that box set, there's a possibility that might never happen only because for some reason Paramount was never able to get the rights to Scream 4. That's why we've been waiting for Scream 4 to come out on 4K because Paramount now owns the Scream franchise and they have all of them except for 4, which is still Miramax. For I don't know how that works, what happened there. Now we have gotten franchises that come together regardless, like like you just said, Friday the 13th. It was also a Paramount up to Part 8, and then New Line Cinema took over. But they were, Shout Factory was still able to put out a box set with all of them together. So I'm not saying in the future it won't happen, but I know Paramount's a little bit of a bigger studio, a little bit greedier in a way that they might not
yeah.
want to share that with them. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't gotten any of them, why not wait a little bit longer and see if a box set does come out? I'm only missing 4 and 7, so this year I'll complete them. And yeah, I hold off though. The Blu-rays look pretty, um, well, they kind of look flushed out. Like it looks like a very bright, and the 4Ks are a big step up, especially for the first three. So I definitely recommend for people to get the 4Ks when it comes to that. A lot of times, if you already have the Blu-rays and they look really good, it's not necessary. But with these, kind of like American Pie and some of these comedies from the 2000s, like Meet the Parents and stuff like that, I felt like the Universal Blu-rays looked too bright and too washed out, and the 4Ks are doing a good job of bringing back the original color and making them look better. And Scream is definitely one of those. So yeah, we'll see.
Dude,
Let's see if it comes out.
I'm kind of glad you bring this up because so our buddy Brian from Last Movie Standing, he recently did a video. He was comparing the Universal release of American Pie. Um, I think it's the first one that they put out their own version on 4K,
Yeah,
and he was comparing it to the 88 filmed one. We both own the 88 films one. It's
yeah.
safe to say we've both watched it. To me, it looks fantastic.
I
Um,
just watched it for the.
oh,
I did, but I just watched it last weekend for the first time. I was holding off on it for a
dude.
bit, and yeah, it does look good. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, dude. I mean, so you finally got to see it. So you kind of got to see it. Like, damn, they did pretty good justice because I mean, if you look at the Blu-ray for the release, it's kind of the colors are a little bit off. You look at the DVD, it's a DVD. It looks good. It's decent. But then the 4K for 88 films comes out, and you're like, wow, this is fantastic. Finally, then they released part two, which I still want to get on the 4K. And then Universal does their own release, and it just looks like shit. Like he compared it. He did a side by side with the 88 films 4K, the Universal one, the DVD for American Pie. And would you believe that the DVD looks better than the Universal 4K? Like it's so dark. And he was telling me, and he's watching this on like an OLED. like a good setup. And he was saying, he's like, what he showed on the example in the video, it still didn't do it justice. He still had to brighten it because it was just so dark. And he didn't just record it with his camera like to the screen, but he also um uploaded, like he put in the disc and he did a copy of the film. And he was thinking, there's no way they messed up this royally. There must be something wrong on my end. So he whips out his camera and stuff. And the same thing. It's like, I don't know what's going on with Universal, where it's been very hit or miss. It's happened with a lot of those Blu-rays. I have a few that I've noticed. It's been kind of shitty lighting or color or just quality. And then now this, it's like, dude, you guys are pumping out a 4K and it just looks like crap. Um,
Yeah.
and it's
I,
weird because I
mhm.
would have figured they would have got the same version that 88 Films had,
Yeah,
because
that's weird.
it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. So going back to the Scream, like I hope that going forward, all these releases are hopefully not in Universal's hands ever, unless they're going to do a good job. Then
Yeah, no, I mean the Paramount's done a great job with the Screen 4Ks,
yeah,
and they look great. And I think Universal, something was going on back in the late 90s, early 2000s with the way they were. I don't know what's going on with a lot of their movies, but now like I've bought 4K Universal movies that look great. Even behind me, I got the 2021 Candyman looks really good in 4K.
yeah,
So I think it's just it's weird for you to have a great transfer of American Pie and then also release a crappy one when it's on
yeah,
your own label. It's a shame too, because we know I've read from 88 Films that they're done. They're only doing 1 and 2 because they released 3 and 4 on just Blu-ray. So in the future, we're probably gonna get a 4K box set of just those 4 movies from Universal. So I hope they do a better job with 2, 3, and 4. Um, but yeah, let's get back to the heart. Is there I think the only other one I want to mention from 2026 that I saw, and then I have a few from 2025, is I actually didn't think I would watch this movie, but I actually watched it about 2 3 days ago, and that's Luc Besson. Luc Besson, the director of The Professional, Leon,
yeah,
and The Fifth Element. He directed a Dracula movie. So I was like, and it just came out in theaters and everything a couple months ago. It just didn't have much success, and I decided to watch it. And yeah, it's weird. It's pretty cool. Like visually, it's really nice. Cinematography is great. Some of his choices were kind of weird. It tries to follow a little bit more of the Coppola Dracula that came out in the 90s with the romance and the love story,
yeah,
and the makeup effects are great. But man, yeah, it was kind of like it was middle of the road. It's like a one and out for me. I would never watch it again, but just on the one view, I wasn't bored or anything. So I thought that was interesting, and I mainly watched it because I like some of his movies from the 90s, but I don't really think he's done anything good since that I can remember. So yeah, that's the last one I saw that came out in 2026. But I definitely watched a few more in at the end of the last few months last year.
you know, I remember hearing about that film like in the community because people are like, "Hey, there's a new Dracula movie, but there's not really any promotion for it." And then every time I see a clip, I kept thinking of the clip. It seems like a soft core porn or something, or like the start of a porn, because it's just this redheaded, like hot vampire chick, and she's telling the priest, "Oh, I'll do whatever you want if you release me and stuff."
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen the clip. Like I think everybody has. And every time it came up on the internet, I was like, is this like a porn or something? Is this something new that came out, or is this like a mock? Because it
Yeah.
was just very, it just seemed very, very like it was funny as hell, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell?
Well, the
Um,
funny thing is that the movie, I don't even think has nudity. Like it might have maybe slight nudity, but it's actually, it starts off with Dracula having sex with his wife and very much in love. They don't really show much, and I don't think there's any more sex scenes throughout the whole movie. So it's actually not a very sexual movie as far as that. But yeah, I remember that, and I did see the trailer. I go to the movies a lot, so when I went to see horror movies, they would play this trailer in front of it, but I was like, I'm interested, but I'll wait to watch it at home. I didn't go
yeah.
to the movies for it.
Yeah, man. You know, like I pleaded my case during the last season where I talked about having very minimal access to movie theaters. So last year was kind of a bummer missing out on a lot. This year I've started making up for it a little bit. I've been to the movies twice now. Which is the one that I mentioned this last week. They're Going to Kill You. I saw that one. I saw that Glenn Powell movie of How to Make a Killing. So it was just fun to kind of be back to like real movie theaters, having good experiences. So dude, I just gotta catch up, man. I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I want to do as far as for like if I want the AMC pass or the Regal one. Um, but I definitely got to catch up this year because you've been consistent, man. Like you haven't let off the pedal.
No, yeah, because I have the A list, the AMC A list, and I
Yeah.
have an AMC with an IMAX and Adobe. That's like 8 9 minute drive from my house. The only thing that sucks about that place is I gotta pay for parking. But other than that, I try to go, especially when the big releases come out. I saw Project Hail Mary recently. I told you the story talking about horror. I did go watch Ready or Not 2, but 40 minutes into the movie, the fire alarm went out, and the whole theater, like, and it was on a Thursday night. Everyone waiting outside. At one point, I saw a fire truck, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home, and I left. And I was supposed to like go try again this week, and I actually got caught up and I didn't go. But but yeah, I've been going a lot. Yeah, definitely all the new releases. Not all of them, but at least 50% of them I try to go watch and then catch up at home with like the one you just said, the Glen Powell one. I just saw it yesterday, and and stuff like that. So, but yeah, now that you're back and you can definitely pick one of those, whatever's closer to you, whatever works. Like if Regal's closer or AMC's closer, you could pick which pass you want, and I think it's worth it, man. Because especially if they have an IMAX or an Adobe or something, you can see it on these big formats.
Yeah.
It's really fun, especially Project Hail Mary. That's one that I definitely recommend everyone go watch in either Dolby or with the colors, with Dolby Vision, or at least in IMAX, so you get the big screen for it.
Dude, I'm excited. That's one I haven't seen yet. Very pumped. It's not horror related, but it's
Yeah,
one that I just after reading The Martian and then seeing the movie and being blown away and then hearing talks about Hail Mary and I'm just like, man, like they're gonna make that into a movie. I mean, I haven't read the book, like at least completed it or anything like that, but it's just after The Martian, I was just blown away. And I mean, I love
yeah,
space movies. I love stuff like
yeah,
that. It's so much fun, dude, especially in the big screen. I mean, we all remember Interstellar when it came out and seeing that on the big screen. It's like, holy shit, like this is
yeah.
incredible.
Gravity is one that stands out too.
Yeah.
Um, well, a good segue into the podcast talking about Project Hail Mary is, well, I read the book, and I'm sure that you're gonna you said you started it, right, or you're gonna read it, but the segue will be that we're thinking about doing an episode, episodes once in a while. Not It's not gonna be a format where we know there's so many horror movies that were books, especially Stephen King stuff, where we might do episodes where we talk about the differences. Also, throw it in there, a little segment of the difference between the book and the movie. That's also something that we've talked about recently. This That might be something that we do new to the podcast pretty soon. So for season 3, we'll definitely try to get an episode or two in there doing that. So talking about the book and the movie, that's something that might be coming up soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, we've talked about this since last year, and I mean, Stephen King's a legend, right? I did a cinema rewind episode. I think you were on that, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you were on that
yeah,
episode with the
yeah.
guys, Jordan from the movie Den and Steven from After Hours Video, and we're all kind of just hanging out there. It's a series that I do as well on my channel, Face Movies, and uh, I was doing that also. Oh, that's you guys. That's
Cameo.
a little cameo here. That's Maverick, if you guys remember, my gorgeous yet kind of special German Shepherd boy. But he freaks out just seeing a butterfly. But anyway, so yeah, so I have this series. I was doing once a week, every Tuesday, where we get together with the guys and kind of just pick a movie, kind of similar to what we do here on Friday Night Fright Night, and we pick a movie, talk about it, we do a little deep dive, and have some fun. But we did a special episode, kind of talking about the career of Stephen King. And there's just so many books, so many films that have been adapted to his books. They're just absolutely phenomenal. So obviously being fans of Stephen King, reading his books, watching his films, we're like, you know what? Let's every once in a while do an episode where we could maybe compare the book to the film and see how accurate it was, which one was better. Um, so yeah, long story long, that's kind of the idea that we have planned.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to that. Is there any other movies that you saw on the break that stand out? Any horror movies that stand out? Whether it's something that you rewatched that you've already seen, but like, oh man, this really holds up, or I was really nostalgic for it and I still love it, or oh man, I watched it and it's not as good as it used to be type of feeling.
Man, so one of them in particular, it was very interesting. It was watching actually last night. And it's kind of a little bit of hint. It's no longer playing on the TV here. I had it playing, but if you didn't catch it, it's the original Urban Legend. We decided to we talked about doing the film, but also we found out that the director recently passed away, and we're like, man, you know what? I mean, he directed Valentine, Urban Legend, a few other films, and we're like, let's just talk about this movie. I mean, it's one of those nostalgic type. I mean, it's a who's who in this film. I mean, you pretty much recognize everybody from a lot of from. I mean, from you go from Dawson's Creek to Smallville. I mean, you see these actors and you're like, holy shit, I know that person. But we decided to talk about this one. So yesterday I watched it. Lee watched it as well. Well, rewatched it, and that's an episode that's coming up very soon. We'll plan on recording that episode this week, so stay tuned for that. But that was one that I was just there. I mean, I'll almost save it for the episode,
Yeah.
but there was definitely it was an interesting rewatch. It was different than what I remembered, that's for sure. But that was one. I'm trying to think of a few others because I'll be honest, man. The last few months, it was hard for me to watch to catch up on movies because, like I said, I mean, dude, moving out of state, my job recently, we got bought out by another company, so the transition between the one company to another, it was just been, and then the actual moving, getting situated. I mean, even earlier today, guys, I was supposed to start recording this like at a certain time, and it took me like almost half an hour late because I was trying to get this light, which is still I don't have it exactly where I want it. But if you're watching this episode on YouTube, it was just trying to get everything situated. My movie stopped playing randomly. I think my VCR is dying on me, so I was like, "What the fuck?" Like everything's just not going according to plan. But here we are.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had the opposite experience. I've had a lot more time lately, so I have been watching movies galore. I actually, but funny, it's a story about horror here. I finally got to watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in 4K. With my and it was a fun experience because I got to show them to my wife. She had never seen them. This past October, they were playing part one in the movie theater close by, so we went to see it in the theater. It was her first time watching it, and then I said, "All right, now we're gonna watch, the rest of them." But we had to wait till the new year because I had the bad experience of pre-ordering all the steelbooks,
oh
and
yeah.
Amazon put me on hold for literally almost 2 months, saying that I was gonna get it in December when everyone got them in September. And when September came and they were supposed to send it to me, they just canceled my order. And I called them and complained, and they did not care. So I basically had to buy the regular edition, which I'm fine with. And when they didn't even come with the 3D glasses, like it was a mess. But luckily, I have my 3D glasses from my DVD box set, which I love and I still have. And so yeah, just to say, I finally saw them on 4K. I thought they looked great. Oh man, great transfers. Um, yeah, I had a blast doing that. Rewatching the Nightmare movies, those stand out. I finally talk about Stephen King. I bought the 4K of Needful Things, but I didn't watch the 4K because they decided to put a 3 hour cut, which is a whole hour longer than the original film.
Oh shit.
It's called the television cut, and it's fun for a one-time watch. It as a person that read that book, I was like, oh, they added a lot more stuff from the book, so that's cool. But it's full screen, so it's because it's shot for television. It's like they did it for television, and it's edited, so it's not even the R-rated version. So you do get more movie. It's longer, but I would probably go back to just watching the regular one from now on. But it was a cool little experience of a classic movie that I wanted to mention. And as far as new movies, I do want to mention Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm sure you guys have heard of this movie. It's a cult classic from the 80s, and it was remade, and it came out this December in theaters, and I missed it in theaters, but I finally got a chance to watch it, and I gotta say, I was completely surprised by this. I thought it was gonna be a dog shit movie, because even the original, it's a fun cult movie, but in a goofy way, like it's a little cheesy, whatever. But I enjoy it, and but this movie was pretty cool, man. I really liked it. I was surprised, so I recommend that one if excuse me, if you haven't seen it. If you want to wait till like December to see it at this point, but check it out because the Silent Night Deadly Night remake was pretty fun, and the main protagonist is the guy that was in Halloween Ends, which wasn't a great movie, but he's not bad in this one. So I think I'll stop there with all the ones I watched because if I give you guys the whole list, we'll be here all day.
Dude, yeah, I that actor, I always forget his name as well. I mean, not uncommon, but
Yeah,
like
he's not very famous. Like he's only been in a few movies, so
yeah, but he does. He's really good when it comes to that intensity and especially with the Halloween movie. Like I think he did a great job. Um, but yeah, it's you're giving me PTSD from the Friday third, not Friday, from Nightmare on Elm Street from that Steelbook box set because I
yeah.
have it. I mean, well, actually, hold on, right. Let's hold on. Let's see if right there. There it is. So it's sitting right there on the pillars of horror gods. Besides, obviously, Friday 13th over here.
Yeah.
Um, but dude, so
I got stuck
which
with this.
no, I mean, hey, you know what? Having it on 4K is still cool.
Yeah, what
Um,
matters is the movies. I didn't even get the red box either, by the way. I got
oh
the black box, no 3D glasses, but let's just say I got it cheap, so it's fine. And the movies looked great, so I'm fine.
yeah,
Like we were
man,
talking about, I was going for the steelbooks because it's an amazing set, but I'm not a fan of steelbooks. So I always said if they would have released a set with it like they did with like Shout did with Halloween and Friday the 13th, which I have, I would have preferred and I would have picked that one over the steelbooks. But that
yeah,
was the best choice, so I went for it.
yeah. When I remember too that just recently I was thinking about this. I was like, wait, Lee came over, and I didn't even show him like the
Yeah.
box set, dude. And like I that's one thing I wanted to show you because I know you hadn't seen it like in person, and I freaking completely
I
forgot. So
forgot too. Yeah, I saw it when I walked in,
yeah,
and in my mind, because we were gonna go thrifting and stuff. So I figured when I come back, I'm gonna tell them, oh, let me see them. And then when we came back, we were just like finishing up, and you let me borrow a little TV and this and that, and I just forgot, man. So
dude.
definitely something to look forward to next time I pass by.
Dude, it was a long day that day too. We're both like, I know I was tired. I haven't thrifted like that in a while. And me and Lee, we usually go and we get pretty lucky sometimes. Like when we've gone in the past, especially like with horror movies. That's one thing I've been really lucky with. Maybe in the future too, with like future episodes. If anything, if we find any cool horror movies that are worth talking about, we could always kind of start the episodes with that. Be like, hey, I thrifted this horror movie because you'll be surprised. A lot of those hidden gems you'll find. I'm still crossing my fingers to come across the DVD Nightmare on Elm Street box set someday in some thrift store just sitting there in pristine condition.
Yeah, I mean, you could jump. I don't know what people are charging for it on eBay because it depends on the price and the shape that they're in. Because I've seen them on eBay and I've seen some people just had them in really bad shape.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's someone out there, man, that bought the 4Ks and is willing to get rid of for space and stuff, the DVDs if they have them. So yeah, you should keep an eye out because I mean, I love that set. It comes with a big booklet. It comes with the glasses. It's the cover. Everything is really great. I would never. I'll get rid of the Blu-ray one, which I still have, but I wouldn't get rid of of the the DVD set, man, because it's a great set.
Oh, I've seen it. It's not bad. I think I saw somebody selling it for like $60 or something. It's you know what it is? It's been more of the thrill of the hunt because
Yeah.
I always have that excitement. There's certain key movies that I'm always excited to come across, check off the list, and it's just so satisfying to find. Even I recently had gone to this cool little like I think it's called Way Back When, the little shop, and it's like a nostalgic shop. You walk in there, they have movies, games, music, you name it, and they have all this cool stuff for sale. But on the like half top portion of the wall, it's like from here up, they for anybody that's watching the episode, for anybody on the listening to the podcast, I'm kind of just describing the section on the wall, but everything up there, it was personal collection of the owner and the stuff that he's collected over the years at these conferences or with his sons. So I didn't know that at the time, but I walk in and I see the VHS box set of Nightmare on Elm Street in mint condition. And I'm like, oh,
Mm.
dude, I'm walking out with that. Obviously, depending on the price, but I'm walking out with that. That's going to be a great find. And then unfortunately, he's like, oh, no, yeah, that's from my personal. I just like to have it up there so that way everybody can kind of enjoy and see the stuff and everything. And I was like, damn, that was cool, but I got super teased and excited.
That's the one
Um,
with the that All the VHSs make, and he has like his hands open like that, like arms out.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. That I remember that one came out at the same time as the DVDs that I have, and I
Oh,
remember there was a Borders, which is a bookstore. I don't know if they still exist. This one definitely
no.
doesn't. And I remember seeing them there, and when it came out back in like I think 1999, and I wanted to get it, but by then I had switched to DVD, and I was like, no, I want these on DVD. I need them, and I didn't get them right away. It took me like a good few years to finally get them. Uh, so yeah, it's that's cool. It'll be cool to have the VHS ones at least just to display them, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. And every once in a while, pop them in and hope for the best. But it's yeah, man. It's definitely one of those. But what I got completely sidetracked was the whole point of that. I went into a tangent was yeah. I had a similar experience with Amazon. Like they showed up, the box had like a bit of a scratch on top. Each 4K steelbook, some had a little scratch here and there. Like it looked pretty much like I was wondering. I was like, who the hell packaged these? Like, was it Robert Englund himself? Is this part of the promotion to just kind of scratch him up? Like, was
Yeah.
this supposed to be this way? And I was talking to my other buddies in the community, and pretty much everybody kind of got the shaft with this release, and it kind of sucks because there was no quality control. It wasn't for once some miracle that Amazon wasn't responsible. These were prepackaged by Warner Brothers. So they were prepackaged and then Amazon put that box in their box. So this was a whole setup by the studio themselves. They messed this up. They just released it and said screw it. But there was so many people that were kind of pissed that the way they showed up. But I'll show you when you come over, man. I even think I'm trying to remember if I did a video or not on it. But pretty much I spoke to Amazon and they gave me some money back, which was kind of nice. So I think I ended up spending a total of $100 or I don't remember if it was like 80 or $100. It was something around the lines, but I remember I got like a pretty sick discount to the point where I got that steelbook box set for the price of the one that you got. And I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I mean, it is like I just wanted a exchange, but because they made a limited amount, it wasn't possible. So
Oh yeah.
they were like, you could
No.
either send it back and get your money back, or we could give you something. But because it's a studio mess up, for once, like Amazon, because the lady told me, she's like, oh, if it was because of us, I would just let you keep the money and the box. And she literally told me like that. She's like, dude, I would just give you the whole money. But because this time it's a studio thing and not us, I can only give you something back. Well, she was great, by the way. I don't remember her name, but shout out to her, to the Amazon employee. She was awesome. um,
Yeah, I mean, I think Warner Brothers did a great job with transfer of these movies, so I have to give them credit there.
yeah,
So they put love into it, and I even know that the director of Part Two was in in Warner Brothers lot, like making sure the transfer was great, this and that. They didn't do a good job packaging. I don't understand why they didn't release a better edition with the if you don't have if the steelbooks could have been limited and that's fine, but why not release a bigger box set with each individual movie instead of just throwing everything in this little box. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, the way they package things. I mean, I didn't even get the 3D glasses, and it's not because they stopped doing it, because the back of my box says 3D glasses included, and they're not in there. So it's just a mess. I mean, the movies were sealed. It didn't seem to be like somebody else had them, and I've seen a lot of videos of people online that got the black box too. So I think even the red box one was limited too, and then eventually they just started putting it in the black. I'm not that anal. I don't care that much about the red box, but at least they should have had the glasses. And like I said, luckily I have some old school 3D glasses from the other boxes, so I was able to watch part 6 with the 3D last 15 minutes or so, and it still works. Looks terrible, and I loved it. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, at least we got the movies. That's what matters, and the
yeah.
transfer is good. So for my favorite franchise, horror franchises, I know it's yours, at least we got a really good transfer for them, and that's really the most important thing.
Dude, it's true. In the end of the day, the transfers were great. Oh yeah, there was a little hiccup here and there with packaging and all that. Delays with shipping for a lot of people and a lot of orders getting canceled. I mean, it was overall a little bit chaotic, but at the end of the day, I'm happy I've got it. Um, I do wish and hope that one day there's like a re-release and maybe a boutique label like Arrow would do something like that. Because dude, I don't know if you've seen the news on the Stranger Things release.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
dude,
that's
That's incredible. Like, that's I think I told you about it. I pre-ordered it with Valoria Video, um, and I did have, some racked up commission on there, so I was able to get it like, severely discounted. I got that cool box with the drawings and stuff on it, the deluxe one. But I hope one day we, with Arrow kinda getting these contracts where it's like company like Netflix, right? But they don't release anything on physical, being like, "Here's a license, go ahead." I hope this is kinda like the gates being opened and there's more opportunities for stuff like this because, I mean, they make some great box sets, man, and,
Yeah, I
I
mean, if people buy them, they might do more of it. So I hope people do buy more of it.
yeah,
I mean, I just got Killers of the Flower Moon. It was an Apple release that didn't have a physical release, and Criterion just released that.
yeah.
Great box. Like it's kind of like the Irishman one. If for those of you who have Irishman, the other Scorsese Netflix movie, which also came out on physical, so that's great. You know, it's good news. We're getting some of these streaming movies that are finally coming out physical media. We're still waiting for Barbarian, which is a movie that had a theatrical release. Makes no sense. But I'm sure we'll get it eventually. So yeah, hopefully,
Dude.
for the Stranger Things fans out there, I just rewatched every single season before season 5, so I have zero interest in rewatching that show ever again. And I have season 1 and 2, and you know, like I've spoken with this about you, with you. I'm not a fan anymore of buying seasons, but for the fans out there that love this show and want to have that collection, I think it's awesome that it's coming out. I hope you guys enjoy it, and it looks great. The box set looks awesome. So yeah, hopefully Arrow or even Shout Factory one day could do an even better release of Nightmare on Elm Street. That'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. I'm excited. I love the show. I just love the aesthetic and the music and everything. Some of the characters loved, and it was one of those things that I do love rewatching shows. It's kind of like a comfort thing for me. Just because I'll put on a movie and it ends and that's it. But with shows, it's kind of I could watch like a new episode once or twice a week, and it'll last me for a few months. Like it could be like a little ritual, whether I'm having breakfast and watching an episode with my breakfast and stuff like that. Um, I know my buddy from 80s Made from the YouTube channel. That's something that, man, I remember quite some time ago. It was probably 2 years ago that I saw a video that he made, and he talked about that where he wanted to create this whole um what is it? What was it that he named it? It was kind of a ritual. I'm gonna go with that, like a ritual with his family, with his kids, where he wanted them to experience what he grew up with, right? Where you have Saturday morning cartoons type situations, like stuff you have to look forward to as a family. Where every week on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. you sit down and you all get together and watch a new episode of that week of, I don't know, let's say Friends or The Office or something. And it's just such a nice thing to have that every so often, especially with certain shows, like one of my favorite shows and right out of left field is like New Girl. I don't know if you've ever seen it with Zoe Deschanel. Dude, that show is brilliant and it's funny as shit. Like every single season all the way to the end was just funny as hell and relatable. And that's one show that every like few months I could rewatch over and over, not get tired. Same thing with like Tales from the Crypt, stuff like that. Like I recently got the DVD box set for Tales from the Crypt on Facebook Marketplace. So like shows like that I could just rewatch over and over. And with Stranger Things it'll be a little different. Like I'll definitely take a break, but it's good to have it just because it is Netflix. So God knows how long that will be available on physical. I mean, people are already marking up the price to like $500 or $600 on eBay, and it's ridiculous. So it's like it was one of those like, you know what? If I spend $80 or $100, but I own everything on 4K, from one of the companies that does some of the best work and transfers and box sets and everything, just supporting them, supporting physical media, but also just preserving it and not being later on where I'm like, shit, now the only way to get it is to cough up like hundreds of dollars or pay the subscription for Netflix, which is like going to be like $30 a month now, pretty much, which is crazy, dude. That's insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah, most of my streaming services are ad now because it's gotten too expensive to pay for the premium ones. So all of mine are with ads, except I think Hulu's the only one I have left without ads. Um, but yeah, man, let's get into the. I wanted to ask you. We went through some new and old movies that we saw
Yeah.
from this year. So I don't have too many on my list, but I do have a few. Are there any movies that are coming soon this year in 2026? Horror movies that you're looking forward to that you've heard of that sound interesting?
They're I don't know if they're coming out this year, but I have heard that they're already in talks. I know what I'm excited about, and the only reason I'm excited about this one is because there's in talks with the original director, and he's on board. He's actually had this idea for it for quite some time, but it's The Descent. They're talking about doing a remake to the original The Descent. The only difference is that instead of it being an all female cast, it would be an all male cast. And then the creatures would be female instead of like the opposite for the first one. Thought that was cool because it really goes to show, right? You have two films that are the same thing but very different. Because the dynamic between women in a survival film with themselves and then men, the decisions are a lot like very different. They're night and day. So he was talking about that, the parallels between the two, and he kind of wanted to show the audience the difference because a lot of people are like, "Oh, great, now it's gonna be just all dudes." But he was explaining, he's like, "Yeah, but it's gonna be different because the decision making, the survival instincts, everything is just it's a whole different movie, same concept but totally different mindset." So I'm very excited to see, especially the original director. I don't know if he's gonna direct it this time, but I know that the studios they were in talks with him as far as for I think either consulting or using his script, his idea that he's already had written down for it. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm happy with that as long as he's consulting and he's a part of it somehow. Because I can only imagine what they're gonna do. I know with the making of The Descent, it's like you watch the behind the scenes and everything that they put, all the work that they put into it. It's just it was incredible. Like them recreating these caves and all that. So I can only imagine now. It's been years later. With hopefully they're not using AI for it and they're sticking to the original recipe of them doing things from scratch because man, like you could not I had no idea that the majority of the original movie wasn't filmed in a cave. Like I was completely convinced that they found a cave somewhere and that's where they were doing it. And there goes to show what movie magic is all about because it's incredible, man. But besides that one, I know Glenn Powell is going to be a part of I think he's directing a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre with 824 from what I heard 2-3 days ago. I know that was in talks already, but I think it's like been confirmed. That's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm a fan of Glenn. I think he's a cool dude. Never met him, but I mean, from what I see, there's never any drama around the guy. He puts in the work, he shows up. Some movies kind of flop. It's not always the actor's fault. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's Hollywood, kind of controlling things, and the directors maybe their vision not coming to life, or the script revisions, or the budget. But as far as for him, it's interesting to see him trying to take on Texas Chainsaw Massacre like film because he doesn't seem like the type of dude to do that. You always see him in these rom coms or Top Gun, like he's always doing that type of stuff. So I'm excited to see how like what he does with it and if it's going to be like maybe this guy's a genius when it comes to horror and we just had no idea. Um but just a fresh face on it. And then something else that's pretty exciting. It's been a lot of off and on people not too excited or a lot of people are just blown away by it, but the Friday 13th series, that's going to be an interesting one. We have an interesting cast attached to that. We're going to see what happens. And then I know there's talks about a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I know that Robert Englund wants to be a part of it. I know in the past he expressed that he couldn't do it anymore, but then as of late, he's been mentioning where he's like, you know what, I have one more in me. Like, let's just do one more, which is freaking awesome. So the story, it seems like what they've talked about, it's going to be a bit different. It's going to be more of a psychological, which is I think it's gonna be kind of cool. Not having Freddy so present. I think with this remake that they did in the last one, if they would have gone that route, I think it would have been better. Or they could have just taken the element of Freddy out and just made it its own thing because it was still good in that sense. But with this new Nightmare on Elm Street that they're talking about, they're saying that they could bring him back and he's more in the shadows, and you do hear the voice. He's more in the shadows. But that's kind of it, and it's more of a psychological type situation. So I'm excited for that, man. I hope it goes through. And the end of the day, I mean, as long as Robert Englund is attached to it, like I'm happy, even if it sucks ass. Because I mean, some of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, they're not that great, and we know we could say that some of them are a
Part
little.
five.
But right there we go, and they're a little too cheesy, a little too much. But the fact that he's in it and he's such a lovable character, lovable like killer.
Well,
He makes it fun.
Well, you know how rumors are. There's always different stories coming out.
Yeah.
So what I heard, and I this was a quote I heard him talking about it. He said that he's has one more in him as far as being in the movie, but he doesn't want to play Freddy. And
Oh,
also, there's a rumor that it's gonna be like a lot of a backstory prequel type thing for Freddy, which I'm not a fan of at all. And for me, I think Freddy's Dead could be a fun movie, but I actually find the prequel stuff kind of boring, and I'm not interested in
yeah.
Freddy's background that much. I like the less I know about Freddy, the better. So to do a whole prequel about Freddy and seeing his like him killing little kids like without being Freddy just being Fred Krueger and that it gets a little creepy territory like the remake brought us with the whole things that he was doing to these kids that are it's not killing them but worse almost so that stuff just turns me off, man, because Freddy's supposed to be fun. I don't want to see like I know what you're saying that he got too goofy. I'm not trying to say that he should be goofy, but I don't want to be depressed watching it. Is what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to be like, you know what I mean. Like I don't think the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are meant to be that. They're meant to be scary for people, having can't go to sleep. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. They've been talking about Freddy for so long that it was the remake came out in 2010, I think it was. So we're talking
Yeah.
about 16 years that we haven't had a Freddy. We keep getting Texas Chainsaw movies all the time, the remakes, the Netflix one, prequels. I never thought there'd be more Chainsaw movies than Freddy. At this point, Saw has overpassed it. There's just a lot of movies, so I do hope that we get. And I agree with you. I'll be excited. I just hope they do it right, man. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like maybe they should go the Scream 5 route and do like a like a requel. Kind of like a remake slash sequel. Kind of like maybe bring back some of the final girls that survived or do like Halloween and maybe forget some of the sequels and just make a direct sequel to the first one. I don't know. There's something that could be done that could be fun. Um, but yeah, and just to mention some of my coming soons for this year, 2026, there's some movies that are coming out that I want to see. Evil Dead Burn comes out in
Oh,
July,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
so we're getting that this summer. I thought Evil Dead Rise was a fun movie, and this is gonna continue that type of film. It's gonna be different. I don't think it's the same director, but it does come out in July. There's a movie called Hokum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly,
I know what you're
but
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I want to see that because it's from the director of Oddity, and I thought that movie was pretty cool, man. It was a very refreshing movie, um, and that comes out in May. So I want to check that out. And then, as you know, we got Resident Evil coming out this year from Zach Kruger, the director of Weapons. If we want to put that in the horror movie category, I think we could because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean zombies. So I'm looking forward to that in September. And then there's a DC movie coming out that's written by Mike Flanagan. It's called Clayface, and it's gonna be a horror type DC movie, and because Mike Flanagan's involved, I'm looking forward to that one. So those are the four that right now I could think of that I looked up and I was like, oh, I want to see these four that have dates, so we at least we're gonna get them, and so hopefully they're good. And there's more coming that I just don't know about yet for this year, but it's shaping out to be a pretty decent year for horror. I think every year there's always some good ones coming out, so we'll see what else we get.
Yeah, man. Like, no, that's a solid list. I'm excited for Resident Evil. Always been a fan. I mean, I own all the original Resident Evils, and I know they're exaggerated and then they're not exactly up to the games, but they're just fun. Like, they're to me, they were just fun movies. Like, always enjoyed them. And now talking about it's funny. It makes me want to rewatch them again. So I might do that. But
Mhm.
but that one, Evil Dead, like that, I'm excited for. I know. Speaking of like Mike, the God of Horror Flanagan, he recently just started filming The Exorcist. I saw a post a
Yeah,
few days ago, so the production just started. Excited about that. See what he does. Um, I He's one of those directors that he's just blown me away. He's incredible. I know it's like I feel like pairing him with like somebody like The Exorcist has nothing to do with Stephen King, but like him and Stephen King working together is just such a beautiful like union in horror. And I don't know, I was just thinking about that because I know they've already like worked together, or like in the past, but hoping for more stuff. I think that's like his director going forward for adaptations.
Yeah, they're working again. When he finishes The Exorcist, the only thing is, I have to say, this is probably the least excited I am of a Mike Flanagan project, because I feel like this movie's been remade like 3 times.
Yeah.
I think the original's great and it's Carrie, and so Mike Flanagan's doing Carrie, but they're turning it into a limited series. I don't really. I've read that book. It's not a long book. I think it's less than 300 pages. It does not need a series in my opinion, and it does not need a remake. I think the 70s Carrie from Brian De Palma is great, and there was a TV version of it that came out in like 2002 that added stuff the book didn't. And then you got the one with that came out in like 2013 or something like that. So I mean, I don't know how many times more we could tell that story of Carrie. I don't think it's that interesting to tell so many times. So I will say this is the first time I'm not excited about a Mike Flanagan project, but I am excited for The Exorcist, and I hope that Mike Flanagan makes more stuff that hasn't been made from Stephen King like he's done in the past. I feel like we might be seeing a little bit of a downfall because he's also working on remaking The Mist. To me, it's like The
Ah,
Mist is a perfect movie.
yeah.
Yeah, the ending's different than Stephen King's book, but I thought it made it better. And I know some people hate that ending, but I don't know why he's going to that, like doing the Carrie and the Mist type of thing. I'm a little concerned about that, especially doing a Frank Darabont. I think Frank Darabont is the original OG of making great Stephen King adaptations
Yeah.
with The Green Mile and Shawshank and The Mist. And Mike Flanagan took that flag and ran with it and has been doing awesome. And I just hope that he doesn't mess it up with these unnecessary remakes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I that's the thing too. See, on my end, I'm not too concerned just because Mike Flanagan's the type of guy where he's a fan first, right? And somebody like Stephen King and a lot of these other horror directors, like they've inspired him. If you look in certain interviews that he's made and stuff like that, he's been in like he's always been a fan first, and he's always had his idea of like how these movies should look and feel. And even though he loves those originals and all that, like he has his own little recipe that he wants to add. So he hasn't done wrong in my eyes so far. Like so far, he hasn't let me down. And even though I agree with you, like that Mist movie to me was just unsettling, perfect. That ending, I mean, dude, talk about depressing somebody. Like putting somebody through all of that and then just depressing the shit out of them within seconds. And
Yeah.
then like that twist. Um, I mean, how do you I know other people were upset. I get it. I'm somebody that if I read the book, I want it to be true to the book. I don't want you to come in and try to razzle dazzle me with some different ending because you thought that it should end this way. Like it's like respect the author, end it the way it was supposed to. But
Yeah, but I mean, King himself said that the ending for The Mist was better than the one in his book. And I've read the book and I could tell you it is. The book, it has very kind of a boring ending. The people that you
yeah,
see in that car end up in a hotel room and the stuff is still happening and they don't know what they're gonna do next. I mean, from what I remember,
yeah,
I might be a little bit off. I read it a few years ago, but I don't know. I'm with you on Mike Flanagan, but this is my thing. What I liked about Mike Flanagan is that he would go and he would make, Gerald's Game. You never thought that book would get a movie, and he did a
yeah,
great job. And he went out and he did, oh, who's gonna touch Doctor Sleep? Doctor Sleep is amazing. So I love the fact that he was making all these movies from King that other people wouldn't touch. And I know he's a huge fan. He's a bigger fan than me. I mean, I've seen him like I don't know if you've seen the special features for Hush on Bluray.
oh
Um,
yeah,
but they're sitting behind this thing where like full of King books, like where he lives. And he has these special editions that I wish I had. Like I can't find them anywhere. Like the guy is a hardcore King fan. So I know that he's gonna do right. And I'm not saying that his miss would suck or the carry's gonna suck, but I just wish he would use his talent to continue doing these King books that haven't been done yet, that haven't been adapted, because there's so many that I
yeah.
don't see why anybody needs to remake a King story, because there's so many that haven't been developed yet that are there that are really good. So hopefully, they're good, but I wish he would pick on stuff that hasn't been made yet. That's just my little beef with with that.
Well, you know what? We're gonna have to reach out to them on social media and be like, "Hey, man, don't fuck this up for Lee."
Hey, Mike, I know you're doing a great job. I'm not telling you what to do, but
Just do
can
it
we
right.
cancel the Carrie show and do something better?
Yeah. No, or just be like, hey man, you have a lot of those special editions there. If you want to just throw one Lee's way.
Yeah, stop being so greedy, man. I mean, we
No, dude, yeah. I mean, no, I agree with you. I mean, and and going back to the list of upcoming films, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be another great year for horror. There's a lot of great physical media releases coming out. Um, I know this one's not horror related, but I think we could really quickly touch on this. I'm sure you saw the news for Arrows, Mortal Kombat, you know, double movie box set. Like, I mean, it's an awesome year for a lot of originals coming out on physical and obviously horror related. And I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for this year and see what more is coming. I know the one wasn't Adam Scott or something. Is that his name? The one for the one that you mentioned a little earlier.
Yeah, I think it's called Hokum or something like that. He's
Holcomb.
in Adam Scott is in it. Yeah.
Dude, that trailer was so unsettling. Another one that I want to watch that came out this year. I've heard great things about the movie. The audio itself was creepy as hell. Undertone. I heard Undertone was very creepy and very unsettling. And anything that has to do with stuff like that, like I don't know if you're a fan of the movie White Noise. I don't know if you remember that one.
I saw it once when it came out. I don't remember. I think that's the one with Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I haven't seen it since it came out. I think the last time I saw it was VHS. I have the DVD of it. I've been dying. I know they even made a part two, but I've been dying to rewatch that one. That was one that was creepy. Pulse is a creepy movie. At least if you watch the original, the American one, it's a little creepy, but it's not compared to like the original. But any of the what was it, Hokum? I think that's what you called it. The name
Yeah,
Hokum.
yeah.
Dude, that looks so good, man. That and Undertone would be a perfect double feature for me, of just creepiness all around. So very excited for them, man. A lot of some very seriously dark horror movies coming out this year.
Yeah, yeah, that one already came out. Undertone. I haven't seen it. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard from as it's scary and people love it to also the other side of people saying yeah that it was boring and it was.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of the taste that you have.
Yeah.
It's there's no right or wrong. Obviously, some people might love it, some people might hate it. But I definitely check it out. I don't know if I'll make it to the theater, but I'll watch it at home.
Yeah.
For sure. I try to watch as many of the big horror releases and even some of the small ones as much as I can. So I'll check it out.
Yeah, dude. And I did want to bring up one more horror release that was recently announced. Well, I guess within the last 2 weeks. If you guys are fans of the original Wrong Turn with Eliza Dushku or Dushka, that I mean, I loved that movie. Watching it when I was in high school when it came out. I know for some time it was kind of hard to get to. The only way I think you could get it was if you got that whole bundle with all of them in it. But individually, I think it was hard to get to. Where Umbrella is doing a whole release of it, and it's either up for pre-order right now, but they have like the whole box set with like I think like a poster and all that stuff, and then they have I think the standard one. But they are releasing that, so if you're on the market and you're looking for Wrong Turn, finally, you could get it, and it's as either in gaming you would say jailbroken, or in physical media movies you would say region free. So,
Yeah,
um,
I have Wrong Turn. I remember buying the DVD back when
yeah.
it came out, and it was one of those flip DVDs where it was widescreen on one side, full screen
Oh
on the other
yeah,
side. I still own that one. And I've watched. I think I don't know if it went up to six, but I watched them all the
yeah,
straight to like DVD ones. I would watch them, and even though I didn't like them, I just kept watching them. I enjoy the original, but I think part two was okay, and then after that it was there's one in the snow and this and that, but
yeah,
it was they were okay. I mean, I actually was surprised with the remake, man. I liked that the remake did something very different, turned it into that whole cult thing. It's not a bad remake. I don't know if you ever saw it. I had a chance to watch that,
yeah. No, I
but it
enjoyed
wasn't
it.
too bad.
I was very
Uh,
surprised, dude. I was very surprised. I was expecting this kind of like deformed type of like creature people, and to see that it was just normal people that were just kind of, I mean, well, I guess semi-normal, but kind of living out there on their own and all that. It
yeah,
was very interesting take. I love when directors do that. I love if they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do a remake, but we're gonna do it different type of remake."
Yeah.
because certain movies, I mean, the original to me didn't have to be touched. Like it was good. It was really good, especially for the time. And you don't always have to modernize everything. So that's why we have a lot of horror classics, you know. But with this one, it was good. I'm trying to remember if it was it a Hulu release or was it like a Netflix type situation? I don't remember.
No, I think it was just one of those movies that got like a very limited theatrical run, and I
Okay.
think I might be wrong here, but I think it was like a Lionsgate release or something like
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, dude, I mean, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the remake, go check it out. I mean, you get two thumbs up from both of us, you know, one thumb each. So go check it out. But that's some of the movies that I mean, man, I'm still catching up. And like I've told you, Lee, already, and like I mentioned earlier, you guys, like I'm still catching up on life and there's been so much going on. Lee's, you know, recently he started getting a bunch of stuff going on too. So we're kind of just catching up, getting our bearings in order. And especially on my end, I can't wait to see more of what's coming out and be more in the news, man, because I feel like I've just kind of been a little left behind with certain releases and stuff. They've been really blowing by. Um, but speaking of releases, guys, as always, if you haven't already, if you're not aware, I want to bring up our awesome sponsors, which is Valoria Video. If you get the chance, guys, if you enjoy this episode, you enjoy supporting our YouTube channels or social medias or our podcast, make sure to check out Valoria Video at valoriavideo.com. Make sure to use 10, our code Face the Movies 10. I'm a little rusty. Face the Movies 10
Mhm.
to get 10% off your order and check them out. I mean, there's a ton of pre-orders. Like, I believe they have the Wrong Turn pre-order on there, so you can check that out. If you're looking for Stranger Things, check that out as well. I mean, 10% off of that box set, you're probably saving at least like $20. Plus, you're getting free shipping on orders. I believe over $75. So that's that, and also you're supporting a local business. And speaking of which, so something that you and I, Lee, have in common with Valoria Video is that Valoria Video is in Miami. So one of these days, I actually want to set something up. Maybe we go visit Valoria Video and kind of say what's up in person. Maybe pick something up and just kind of hang out. Maybe we could do like a little video or something, kind of showing behind the scenes of what it takes to have a physical like a physical media store and all that because it's important, guys. We got to support small business more than ever. I mean, these guys are keeping our hobbies alive and they're working hard and they're creating jobs for themselves and in a world right now where it's kind of hard for a lot of people to find something. So we got to keep it going. But once again, Face the Movies 10, so go check them out, show them some love. Let them know that we sent you over. Go shoot them a nice message, wish them a good day and all that good stuff. Uh, but besides that, dude, so I know we're about an hour in, an hour and 15 almost. I know we kind of caught up a little bit what we've been up to. We talked about some of the stuff that we've seen, some of the stuff we're excited for. We even talked a little bit about some of the horror, like physical media releases coming out, some of the ones we've picked up. Is there anything else that you'd want to touch on in the episode?
No, I think we definitely covered a lot. I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad that we were able to talk about some of the movies that we saw while we were off. Definitely looking forward to not only some of these new releases coming out now, but we're looking forward to just making new episodes for you guys and just having fun, getting back and getting back on the horse and bringing you some great fun reviews of movies that we love, you know. And like I said in the beginning, it's gonna be a mixed bag of all types of horror, you know, older ones, newer ones. You know, we'll definitely make our list, but I do look forward to hearing from you guys and let us know if there's a really like I said before, a movie that you'd like us to cover, and we'll gladly check it out, even if we haven't never seen it, because we're always up for that too. So yeah, it's good to be back, and I look forward to these new episodes coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And God, if there's also anybody you want us to collab with or anything like that, let us know if you want. And if you want us to have any guests on, or if there's people you're fans of that you would love on here, go shoot them a message and be like, "Hey, go be on an episode of Friday Night Fright Night with these guys," and let them know. You know, go blow up their social media and all that stuff. That'd be awesome. We love collaborating. We love talking horror. I mean, and obviously we have our own channels as well. So for me, it's Face the Movies on YouTube and Instagram, and I cover a wide range of everything. I know it's been a little bit since I put up a video, but I do plan on doing a room tour. I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, GC, your background looks different. It does. It's actually not quite done yet. Had some technical difficulties on this first one, but I do plan on doing like a little room tour and then stuff like that. Cinema Rewind is coming back full throttle. Same thing. It's going to probably be 2 episodes a month instead of every week, just because obviously it takes a lot of time, and all of us have been super busy with our own content and life and all that good stuff. So, yeah, go check it out on there. And then Lee, take it away, brother. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, I've been posting up, pictures and things that I put up for movies on at Cinema Whiplash on Instagram, and the channel is on YouTube at Cinema Whiplash also. Yeah, just keep following us there. If you want to give suggestions of movies that you want us to do, you could send it to either GC's Face the Movie or Cinema Whiplash on Instagram for us, and we'll definitely do that. So check us out there. And yeah, that's basically where I'll be at.
There you go. Well, guys, we love you. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for, if you're watching this, if you made it to the end, thank you. It's awesome to kind of just be able to come on here and hang out, and it feels great to be back, man. It felt weird. Like in the beginning, it felt kind of weird, and then as the weeks or months have passed, it's been like, huh. Like I look over my desk, my setup is not there, and I'm like, it feels empty. We got to get back on it. So it's good to be back. Guys, stay tuned for the next episode, the actual full episode, which is going to be us talking about urban legend. And until then, we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Later, guys.